There are stories that sparkle brighter than any jewelry on earth. Stories of power, conquest, mystery, and obsession. The Kohinoor diamond, the mountain of light, a strong stone that is so legendary that entire empires fought over it. And what if you could make it yourself? Not steal it, not buy it, create it. This is how I made an almost real Kohinoor diamond all by myself. The legend of light. Before I could ever think about creating the Kohinoor, I had to understand what made it so mythical. The story behind centuries ago in India's Golconda mines, the birthplace of some of the world's rarest diamonds. No one knows exactly when it was found, but by the 13th century, whispers of a blindingly beautiful stone spread across kingdoms. It passed the Sultan to empire, each ruler engraving their reign into its surface. It sat on Mughal thrones, was seized by Persian conquerors, and eventually, after centuries of war and intrigue, found its way into British hands. Today, it sits on the town of London, gleaming, untouchable. But that wasn't enough for me. I wanted to understand the Kohinoor, not by reading about it, but by building it. The impossible idea. The idea sounded ridiculous even to me at first. How could one person recreate the most famous diamond in the world? But the truth is, it wasn't about money or jewelry, it was about curiosity. Could I capture the same optical magic that made the Kohinoor legendary? I started small. Research, geometry, material science. I watched hours of gem cutting videos, read papers on diamond crystallography, and dug into historical sketches of the Kohinoor shape before and after it was recut in Britain. The first thing I learned, diamonds don't just shine, they play with light. And to make one almost real, you have to learn the language. What makes a diamond shine? A diamond beauty isn't just about sparkle, it's about physics. Light enters the crystal, bends, bounces, splits, and finally escapes, bursting into tiny rainbows. That's called dispersion. And the key to all of it is sometimes called refractive index. For diamonds, it's 2.42, meaning light slows down dramatically as it passes through, creating that fire. I needed a material that could come close, glass too dull, quartz too soft. But then I found it. Cubic zirconia. Cubic zirconia has a refractive index of about 2.15. Not perfect, but close enough that your eyes can be fooled if you cut it precisely. So that became my diamond substitute, my mountain of light reborn in a lab. Designing the Kohinoor. To make my Kohinoor, I needed the shape of the perfect. The modern Kohinoor is an oval, bright, brilliant cut, but the original British, before the British recut it, was very different. Flatter, rose style cut with broad facets. I wanted both. The original raw Kohinoor full of mystery and the modern cut polished and mathematical perfection. Using 3D design software, I modeled both versions based on historical measurements. The Mughal cut had 169 facets, and the British one had just 66, but with much sharper geometry. It felt like holding two versions of history in my hand, one organic, one engineered. Cutting the impossible. The day I began cutting was the day I understood why gem cutters are artists. Cubic zirconia is tough, nearly as hard as sapphire. One wrong move and you can chip a facet, ruin the symmetry, or worse, crack the whole stone. I mounted the rough crystal on a dope stick, fixed it under the cutting wheel, and began. The sound, a faint humming grinned, filled the room. Each facet took minutes of patience, guided, guiding the wheel, measuring the angle, polishing, stopping, adjusting. Hours turned into nights. There were moments where I wanted to give up, when my hands shook or when the stone refused to align. But slowly the shape began to emerge, facet by facet, reflection by reflection. A diamond was being born. When I finally sat down to the and looked at the polished surface, light hit it and it came alive. For a moment I forgot it wasn't real. Testing the sparkle. To see how real my Kohinoor was, I ran a few tests. First, the diamond tester. A quick touch, beep, and failure. No surprise. Cubic zirconia doesn't conduct heat like diamond. But visually, under white LED light, it was stunning. The dispersion, the reflection, even the rainbow flashes, they were there. Then I tried shining a laser through it. It refracted and scattered beautifully, though not quite as fiercely as the real thing. Still, side by side with diamond replicas, mine held its own. Not perfect, but almost real. The two Kohinoors. Both versions under different lighting setups, they reflected different types of lights. I had two Kohinoors now, the Mughal and the modern, two interpretations of the same legend. Under soft golden light, the Mughal version glowed gently, warm, organic, almost spiritual. Under white light, the modern version exploded with brilliance, cold, calculated, precise. It was like watching time itself through the crystal. Two worlds, two philosophies of beauty, and somehow both were right. What history hides in light. The more I studied the Kohinoor, the more I realized its beauty isn't just optical, it's political, it's emotional. Every time it was cut, it lost carats, but gained new meanings. From the Mughals, it symbolized divine favor. The Persians, its victory. To the British, its possession. And to me, it became a symbol of creation. Creating it wasn't just a technical experiment, it was an act of storytelling through light. After weeks of research, modeling, cutting, and polishing, it was done. There it sat on my table, my almost real Kohinoor. When the light hit it just right, I swear it looked alive. Every color in the spectrum flickered through its heart. It wasn't a Kohinoor locked in the town of London, but it was my Kohinoor. Made not of greed or conquest, but of curiosity and patience. People ask me, but it's not real, right? And I always smile and say, define real. The real Kohinoor is a relic of empire. Mine is a reflection of creativity. Both shine because of the stories behind them. Maybe real isn't about origin. Maybe it's about meaning, the time, the care, the love you put into creating something. The mountain of light, reborn. The Kohinoor has survived centuries of conquest, but it's also survives through imagination every time someone somehow tries to recreate its magic. My replica isn't worth millions, but it doesn't belong in a museum. But to me, it's priceless because it taught me the beauty of isn't just what we see, it's what we build. And sometimes building something with your own hands, even something imperfect, can make you feel closer to history than any museum ever could. So that's how I made an almost real Kohinoor diamond all by myself. It took research, mistakes, long nights, and a lot of patience, but in the end, it wasn't just about the gem. It was about understanding the light, history, and myself. It's a journey inspired, share it. If this journey has inspired you, share it. Because legends live on only when we keep retelling them. And remember, sometimes the most precious thing aren't the ones looked in glass cases. They're the ones we make with our own hands, with our own hearts. Everyone, if you like this video, subscribe the channel and like the video. Goodbye.